Hello everyone. So today we will be going through the first chapter of my book and I will teach you how to set up your U project. So we're building an we're building an Ethereum wallet, and through a number of live streams I'm going to go through each chapter of my book and you will learn how to build a full front end in Rust and using U. So today we'll just be setting up the basics such that you're ready for doing the more advanced stuff of generating your UI and building up your application from scratch. So let's get started. If we go to the book and just have a look, this will be the chapter 1 of the book. And as I've promised, I'll go through this in public and just correct it all. And we have a number of different steps we'll go through here today. So the first thing we'll do is set up all the preliminary stuff that we need in order for things to do. So the first thing we'll do is go through all that preliminary stuff just so that you are ready to do all the things that you need to do in order to get your front end up running. And the first thing you want to do is to make sure that we've installed Trunk. So Trunk is a tool that you use when you're packing your web application and serving it. It's super easy to install. If you've already installed Cargo, you just do Cargo install Trunk, and then oh wait, what happened here? I was too fast at saying that was super easy to do. Right, what is it complaining about here? Okay, yeah, this is what happens when you're doing something live. It requires, oh wait, let's just see. Okay, so let's just check my Rust up tool chain. What are we actually using here? Okay, but that should be okay. We're using the live or the 82 toolchain. Why doesn't it install? Okay, so we have found the first mistake in the book. It's actually not installing this one. That's the first time I've seen this error. Let's see, what can we do about that? Okay, but anyway, so the idea here is that I'll be going through these chapters live, and then eventually this will be cut into a course. But while it's live, you get the chance to see all of this content for free. And once it's then made into a course, it'll be costing money. Let's see. But up until then, you have the chance of going through everything. The downside is you'll have to deal with small things like this, and which will be cut out of the final video, where it will just be briefly explained how we solve this. So why do we get this? So I'm just trying to Google this to understand exactly what's going on here. It's not entirely clear to me why we would get this. Let's see. Installation guide. Right. Oh, let's try to do this with locked and see if that helps anything. Okay, let's not jinx it at this point. We are nearly there. Let's hope it was just that locked keyword we needed. And anyway, if you're completely new to Rust, this is a great way to learn Rust from my experience. Like, you start out with something that feels kind of familiar. If you've done React before, starting out with building a U frontend is a great way to try out some Rust. You'll get to see all of the things in how Rust is different from the things that you know already. But I think it's a very, very satisfying way to get started, because you see results pretty much immediately. Like, you run your application and you get to see a UI, you get to some HTML, and get to that level of feeling that you have achieved something without having to deal with all the little new concepts that you'll need to learn about Rust. So from that perspective, I think doing a U project as your first project for Rust is a really, really great way of doing it. So the outline of this course will be that we start out by building a front end. Then once we've built the front end, we're going to build the back end. Then we will build the Web3 component of it, and then we'll tie it all together so you get a fully integrated wallet with a seed phrase that is encrypted, stored on the backend server, encrypted, but then interacting with the blockchain, and through that, enabling you to have funds that you can move around. And so I'll show you how to set up all the local environments. You don't need to have any prior knowledge of blockchains, and you don't need to have any prior knowledge of Rust. I'll take you through all of this and make sure that you are really supported all the way until you get your application up running. Okay, this is taking a bit longer than I anticipated, but I think we're nearly there. And I hope that it's just a matter of adding that lock keyword. That would be great. Wow, this is taking long. Okay, there we go. So we got trunk installed. So it turns out that all we needed was that lock keyword. And so that's really what's solving the problem here. Just to check that it's correctly installed, let's do trunk -- version. Oh. And we have version 21.14 installed. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we want to add the WASM target. So normally when you've just installed Rust, it will be compiling to your native architecture. If you're on a Mac, that means that you'll be compiling to ARM64, and on a normal PC, it will be x86. But we want to target web browsers. So we need to have the target for that. And the way we do this is writing rust up, add target, or target add, and then WASM unknown. This will install the WASM target. I already have that, so there's no need to do that here. And then we're ready to start building our wallet. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is just touch the cargo, the TOML file, and inside this one, we will be adding our workspace. So the way we're arranging things is we're having a top-level cargo.toml. So if you're coming from JavaScript, this is a little bit like package.json, but we can nest these ones such that we have a top-level one that defines a workspace with multiple packages. And this is the first thing we'll be doing. Right, let's see, where was I? So to do this, we are adding a section workspace. And inside this one, we're adding what members we have in the workspace. We don't have any members right now. We're adding a resolver. And we are doing a workspace.edition. And edition needs to be 2021. Okay, let's see if this works as we want it to. So we are now ready to create some of our backend or some of our infrastructure. We're now ready to create the directory outline. And so the way we will be arranging this is we'll have a app directory. This is where the app itself will be living. So we'll have the front end inside this folder. We'll have the back end inside it. And then we'll have the crates living next to the app folder. We'll arrange these ones such that we are having a single folder for a single functionality. Then inside that, we'll have 3 packages, one for the API, one for the front end, and one for the back end. And so the reason for this arrangement is we are following a structure that's very similar to how you do a Django application. So this means that if you're in the future building a new project and you have an app that you already developed, you can just copy that folder across and you'll get the backend, you'll get the front end, and you'll get the API types without having to detangle it from the rest of the code base. It's a super nice and easy way to make apps or components reusable inside of your app. Okay, let's see. So we have now created our app folder. Inside our app folder, we will need a front end. And to do that, we're just doing cargo new front end. And now if we go to our cargo.toml file, you see it added the front end as a member here. So that's now a member of our workspace. We can compile it and we can run it. Likewise, we're going to add a backend. We're not building the backend just yet, but we're going to add it to the structure so we have it there. Then going back to the root folder, one of the main things we'll be having is the wallet itself. We want this one to be separate from the app in such a way that when we're building a new application at a later point, we can just copy the wallet out, we can add that in and get that going in a nice and smooth manner. It basically makes our applications composable. Okay. And so inside this one, we will do cargo new wallet screens. So this will contain our front end. Unlike the previous cargo new, we'll make these ones as libraries. So we are adding --lib. And so the app itself, so the one that's called _app, that's where our backend code will be living. And finally, we'll have an API library as well. Okay, so we now have a bunch of different components that's inside our workspace. We have a basic structure here. And this is pretty much it for the first part of the tutorial. Like, we are now ready to start building up this is pretty much it for the first part of our course. We're now ready to build up our U application, and we'll do that in the next live stream. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that this will help you just get started building the initial infrastructure. I hope this will help you get started building the initial structure for your application. And if you follow and subscribe, I'll take you through all the other steps. We'll get to the point where you get a fully working wallet. It's going to be awesome. So subscribe